Hey, what's up guys? JP here with the local scrubs. I'm right now in between classes, but I figured I'd do a quick video. I just want to start bringing more content to the channel, just because I'm recently with the new release of the Monarch Structure deck, I've become a little more involved with the game, and in this video I wanted to bring you guys my top 5 best decks of the format in my own opinion. Without talking too much, let's just get straight into it. Number 5, I've got Mermills, and they're not really Mermills anymore, but Atlanteans featuring Mermill Abyss Megalo, the water deck. You know what I'm talking about. The reason I put this deck at number 5 is because it's really explosive. Deep Sea Diva is still a card. If they draw it, you pretty much lose. They can loop you with Moulin Glacier and take cards from your hand. Like it's a really explosive and aggressive deck. It's definitely one to be feared. And the way that I feel the format is going to end up being shaped is a lot of people are going to stop main decking those hand traps, because against decks like Cosmos and Monarchs, they're not very good anymore. With the Super Quantums coming out this weekend, Monarchs are no longer that prone to being hurt by Effect Veiler. And so I really think that the lack of hand traps is going to really allow Mermills to fight for a spot at the top tables. That being said, moving into my number 4 deck, I've got Burning Abyss. And if you guys haven't realized lately, Dante's have doubled in price. And so I think that kind of justifies my reasoning for putting this deck, or for saying that Burning Abyss is somewhere in the top best decks. So I put them at number 4. The reason I did that is the deck is really consistent. I've been playing it a little bit here recently. The deck has a lot of abilities, or it has a lot of ability to just always be able to somehow open up with some sort of board and always maintain board presence, which is really good. Consistency wins games, guys. And the deck can also play a plethora of trap cards, Horn of Heavens, I mean, all kinds of crazy shit. Like, BA decks have been playing, 15-20 traps forever now, and I really think that that's like the ability for the deck to be able to main deck any traps that it basically wants to has really allowed it to stay on the competitive scene, and makes it a really great stun deck. But it's not exactly a stun deck. It's still very aggressive. The deck can pop out like double Dante, sometimes 3 Dantes in one turn if they open well, and and set their Firelights, their Travelers. It's hard to come back from that, guys. That being said, Fiendish Warrior Rhino is a great card, or Fiendish Rhino Warrior, whatever its name is. It prevents the BA monsters themselves from blowing themselves up if you control another BA monster. And plus, like, Rhino, when you detach it from Dante, it's its own built-in Foolish Burial. Like, that's insane to me. And they're getting the new Phantom Knights in Wing Raiders coming out this weekend, which is, I don't know if that build is going to be as good as pure builds, but only time will tell. And because of this, I put BA at number 4. Number 3, I decided to go with the Child of Pepe. I'm calling it that because it's not Pepe anymore, but it's Performapal Draco Slayers, or Drago Pals. Well, that deck, whatever you want to call it. Drago Pals is a term that I've seen a lot online lately. And a lot of people were thinking, this deck's dead. It's not. It's still very good. It's very explosive. The only thing that Konami really did to it was to hurt its consistency. And that's why I put it at number 3. It can still make huge boards. It can't make Infinity anymore, no, but it can still, make a Rafflesia or set Solemn back row, like Solemn Strikes and stuff like that. They can play the Ariadne card, whatever it's called, Arianda Grande, whatever. Anyway, it can play that card and just search a whole lot of counter traps, and just it can sit on those and wait, and then it can just explode. And the deck still has 3 Draco face off, which is a really, really powerful card and a very good consistency tool on its own. But you're going to see the deck playing a lot more normal monsters, normal pendulums, and running Rescue Rabbit now just to kind of get the engine flowing. But it's still a good deck. Don't count it out. I'm not sure exactly how good it's going to end up being, but I put it number 3 because I think it's just outclassed by the next 2 decks. Moving into the next to the number 2 spot, I'm putting my own deck of choice, Monarchs. And Monarchs are a really, really, really strong deck right now. They have main decked answers to, just about every deck that I've mentioned so far. Against BA, the field spell just stops them from playing. Against Cosmos, Erebus doesn't target. You can storm forth their ships. All that good stuff. The deck does have a slight consistency issue, but that will be fixed here in the next few days when Wing Raiders comes out and Super Quantums are added to the deck, which gives the deck a much more consistent tribute engine as a whole. I really think that Monarchs are primed for this format to really make their place in the game, and I think that really all Monarchs need is we're just waiting for just the right build to come along to really boost the deck's consistency and make it extremely explosive and unable to make your opponent play the game. And it's a really disruptive strategy, very anti-meta, and that's the reasoning that I'm putting it at number 2. And now my number 1 deck of this format that I'm going with Cosmos. And the reason I'm going with Cosmos is because the force is strong with this deck. The deck is very consistent, okay? They have 3 E-Telly. They're able to, do that play where they can E-Telly out 10 can, go the end phase, use player priority to resolve 10 can first before E-Telly banishes it, and then they can be like, okay, resolve E-Telly, banish the 10 can after they've already used its effect. It's a very good play. The deck is very, very good. All of their cards are very standalone monsters. Dart Destroyer is extremely powerful. And with Pepe dead, I really think that Cosmos are going to be able to kind of step into the light and fill that role, that void that Pepe left. And I really think that the deck is it doesn't lose to very many things. Once the engine gets going, it's hard to out it because all the monsters just self-replace themselves. All the monsters, like the little pilots, they can all just build up the ladder and to their big guys, and then go back down the ladder. They just float for days, and it just makes them incredibly potent and a very scary deck going into this format. And if I had to pick a deck that if I was going to a YCS in this new February 8th format, I think Cosmos is a very, very strong pick. And that being said, I thought that I had to put them at number 1. Really, they're I feel like their only natural predator this format is going to be Monarchs, because Drago Pals, like I said, it got more inconsistent, and they can't make Ignister as consistently with only 1 Luster Pendulum. And Monarchs, they're their only natural predator because they can just, storm forth their ships and so forth. But, I don't think that Monarchs, that's kind of a playing from behind or being a very reactive strategy towards Cosmos, if that makes sense. And because of that, I had to put Cosmos a little higher than Monarchs, but overall, I think that they're both very strong decks. I think Cosmos just comes out on top overall. So, you guys let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you like these kind of discussion videos, please give this video a thumbs up. I'll try to do a little more videos like this in the future. But yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. JP, over and out.